Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana, and welcome to the first in a series of videos where I will share with you some of my favorite decks from 2020. And I thought instead of lumping them all together in one video, we could look at more of the cards this way, and I can share with you some of my thoughts on the deck as we go through each of the decks one by one. And today we're going to start with a Star Seeker. This one I've had in my collection for a little while. Comes in a clamshell box. It's by Nicky Ferrada. I'll show you the box again in the other camera. It'll show up a little bit better. This deck I bought on Etsy and I love it. It's not one of those decks that I needed to break in and do readings with myself. I was able to read with it right away. It's just magnificent, luscious, rose petal cardstock, but it's not that kind of rose petal cardstock that sticks together so much that it makes the cards difficult to shuffle. I riffle shuffle it every day, every time that I use it. So, and it's standing up really well. There's no chipping with the edges. It is edged in a lavender color. I've separated these to show you for the video, but the edges of the cards are the same color as the backs, and the backs are absolutely stunning. The one thing I will say is that if you connect deeply to decks like Druidcraft or decks that are very green and earthy, this deck might feel a little cold. It is definitely celestial. It is aptly named. If you connect to that star energy, if you feel, I don't know, it's a cool deck. It's ethereal. And for those querents or those types of questions that connect to that kind of energy, this is the perfect deck. There's a lightness about this Fool. The way she moves from stepping stone to stepping stone, eyes closed. I feel the trust. And the thing I encourage you to look at in these cards, if you haven't seen them before already, is the use of light. There's a real cleverness in the way the light is used. And for the Magician, I thought I'd read a little bit from Nikki's guidebook. She writes really beautifully, really well. The Magician recognizes his individual power and ability to manifest thoughts into matter. He represents a moment of understanding, of becoming conscious and self-aware. A departure from the Fool, the Magician now recognizes himself as separate from the divine. Where the Fool is one with the universe, the Magician partners with the universe. Through his partnership, the potential for magic is limitless. It's a very easy deck to read based on the Rider-Waite with its own unique flavor. Love that the High Priestess is facing the moon, connected to that divine feminine energy. And I'll show you that Emperor and the Empress side by side. This Hierophant I find very clever, and I can feel the approach. Imagine walking toward the Hierophant. I love the sparkly energy on the cloak, on the robe. Here are the lovers. And I know the trend these days is to have multi-racial or a little more variety with gender diversity, which you don't get much of in this deck. You get a little bit, but not too much. One of the things I do look for in a Chariot card is that there are no reins, and so this deck hits the mark for that one. And the way that this girl is leaning against the lion, and the lion is looking up to the sky, and we've got the sun and the moon. It's really beautiful. And so for those of you that have watched me do live readings or worked with me in different courses and whatnot, you know how I read and how important the artwork is to the interpretation of the readings. I love to weave stories, and I've just found so much ease and beauty with this deck. Love the way the Hermit is on the edge of that cliff and all that celestial light around him. As I mentioned, I'm not sure if I mentioned, this is one of the reasons I bought this deck. This wheel card is just magical. Absolutely magical. Justice. I loved this. And this hanged one, the way the hanged one is suspended over the water, and it's just so, it feels different, right? It feels different than a straight up RWS. There's a letting go in this shape. There's a freedom. There's a connection to a more youthful energy. The fact that the hanged one is hanging over water. There's a lot that you could speak to in this card. And any of you who love acro yoga will probably really like that card. Death. I am going to go through the whole deck, so I won't speak to every single card. But I want you to see them and get the flavor and the feel for the light and the dark, the sun and the moon. And even though the color palette is relatively limited, there's still great diversity. Nicky does water really well. I love the use of the water in the Tower card. It definitely has feminine energy, not balanced in that regard as far as divine masculine, divine feminine energy. Stunning, stunning moon card. Two of my favorite cards. Actually, I have several favorite cards. This Judgment is not bad either. It reminds me of Phoenix energy, the way she's captured the flames and the dress, all kind of interconnected here. It's really well done. The World. I love it when artists are able to capture that portal more energetically. And this is an extra card. This is called the Womb. And I will share with you what Nicky has written about the extra card. I am here waiting and receiving in passive hibernation. I am not ready to transform. Though I am not resisting, I am surrendering. I wait and I am open. I embrace and I allow myself to grow, to ebb and flow with the natural rhythm and progression of life. I wait. I watch as my environment feeds me, and I expand in response. Soon I will grow too large for the comfort of this embryo. I will puncture these walls and push forward to meet the air. I will take the gifts that sustained me in suspension and meet them with my own. Things are moving, even if you're not aware of it yet. For now, observe, absorb, and flow. You will know when it's time to take action. The keywords are receive, nourish, surrender, and patience. And the reversed keywords are forcing and impatience. And I'm showing you the minor arcana in the order that it is packaged when you get the deck. And there's no explanation as to why she's packaged them this way. Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful card. This to me looks like the stepping stones from the Fool card. And when a deck is able to weave objects or symbols from suit to suit or major to minor, it makes for some pretty sweet storytelling with the tarot. Lots of sparkles in this deck, aren't there? This is not a deck that you need to refer to the little white book by any means. You can really get a sense of the energy if you already read RWS. And the guidebook is excellent. Nicky has some very poetic sentences to share about the energy of each of the cards. like this 7 a lot. And here we do see both color and gender diversity. Love this page. Actually, I'll take out the pages too. I love looking at the pages separately. Amazing, amazing Knight of Pentacles. And then there's the King. From Pentacles, Nikki goes to the Swords. Have a look at this one, the High Priestess. Next to that, 2 of Swords. Almost like they're reverse, they're reflections of each other. It's very well done. Love this 4 of Swords. Can't you hear the noise? Not the noise, the sound of that. 5 of Swords. If you have been working with this deck, make sure that you let me know. And if you have any cards that have been challenging or you'd like me to further discuss any of the cards, I'm happy to do that. I've just found it really easy to work with. Really interesting what's going on over here, the way this hand has taken away one of the swords. Very unique interpretation of this 8 of Swords. For me, bears are not too nightmarish. It almost appears comforting, but I'm not sure if that is how everybody sees the bear. 10 of Swords. Amazing use of energy in this card. And this will appeal to many people, as it's not one where the 10 swords are stabbing somebody in the back. Page of Swords. This is not one of my favorite cards, nor this Queen. And then there's the King of Swords. From Swords, Nikki goes to Wands. And I don't know if you can pick up on the details in the camera, but the leaves on the wand are purple, and it's almost like they're 3-dimensional. Love that card. There's a certain, I don't know, there's something about the dark cards that really appeals to me in this deck. And you'll find not only the Hanged Man, this card, there's quite a few cards where the people are suspended above the earth. There's something really unique about these 2 cards. I like what the creator has done. And in the 7 of Wands, the way she's holding 2 wands instead of 1 in defensiveness or protection, it creates a completely different vibe. There's your 8. Look at how the energy's coming from her heart. We've got that crystal in her heart space. 9. This Ten of Wands looks amazing too when it comes up with the other cards that have mountains in them, like the Knight of Pentacles or the Magician. Page of Wands. Knight. I should show you these two side by side. Those are great court cards. Some of the court cards I think are amazing, and others, like the ones I said in the swords, the Queen and Knight of Swords, are not exactly my favorite. There you have the Queen and the King of Wands. And the final suit, as the creator has packaged them, is Cups. The element of water is done. Like, oh, I think I've already said that the element of water looks so beautiful in this deck. And we see these flowers. These are the same flowers that were in the Ace of Pentacles. They almost look like snow to me. Stepping stones through a doorway to where? What is through the doorway? Yeah, so let me know what you think. I'm going to shuffle all the cards together and do a quick 3-card reading, as well as show you all the aces and the pages side by side. Love this queen. She's my favorite of the court cards, that is, I think. And then there's the king. So again, another human that is floating above the universe. Here are the pages. Page of Pentacles, Swords. Kind of like that one too. And then that one's my favorite, the Page of Wands. And here are the aces. So you can see the use of light, that kind of divine energy that she's used in these aces. This is the little purple book that comes with the deck, and it's full of little nuggets. I'm going to share a couple of them with you. One is the unique spreads. Actually, I'm going to do the honoring dreams spread with you instead of just a 3-card. That'll be fun. And for the card descriptions, they are specific to the deck, so it's not just a rehash of any old RWS book. And she describes the images really well and her unique interpretation of the meaning of the cards. And then at the back of the book, this is my favorite thing, she has some meditations, which you could record and then use. So this is the back section here, tarot exercises and meditations. If you are new to meditation and working with the tarot in this way, you could actually record Nikki's words here and then listen to it as you sat with a card. Tarot story exercise, an intuitive exercise, and journey into the tarot cards. The deck is printed on 350 GSM, so very sturdy cards, but not so thick that you can't riffle shuffle them if you love to riffle shuffle. So there you can see the edge of the cards. And they are standard tarot size. The Honoring Dream spread is a spread that I would do later in the day. So after I came back to my dream journal and was trying to make sense of a particular dream. And I'll go through each of the positions here and let you know how Nicky has described each of them. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A spread to assist you in understanding and honoring your dreams. Use this spread when you have a dream and need help with interpretation. Focus on your dream and then pull the cards to match each of the numbered prompts below. A title for my dream is number 1, as if in a book or a movie. So the title for my dream is, this is fun actually. Ooh, okay, so I see a passageway. It's dark through the trees. How about a moonlit walk in the forest? You see if you can come up with another one. Number 2, why this dream is showing up for me right now. This is the number 2 position. It's showing up for me as a way to transform, as a way to burn through something. It's like this is my next step. And so stepping through the forest and going on this little journey is going to help with this transformation. This is number 3 in the center of the reading. Number 3 is what this dream is here to teach me. Wow. It's here to teach me that I am free and that I can feel as youthful and vital. And I've never done acro yoga. I've never done that silk, what's it called? The silk acro yoga. And that's what this reminds me of so much. And this feels like freedom. And this feels like freedom. This feels a little bit scary, as some dreams are. But I need to walk through that darkness in order to feel this, in order to realize this. Number 4. Okay, so this is the 5 of Wands. Again, we have another archway. It's almost as if these sticks are connected. They look like a wheel to me, like they could be turned, but it's quite defensive, almost like a 7 of Wands. Number 4 is hidden truths that this dream brings to light. Well, what this hidden truth is that there's still some issues and that there may be a sense of defensiveness or confrontation involved in this situation. And then down here on the bottom, we have the King of Cups. Okay. And so number 5 is how I can incorporate these lessons into my waking life. The King of Cups invites you to still your mind and calm your emotions. Act from a place of emotional maturity and rational compassion at this time. As you move forward, be sure to consider not only how your actions affect the self, but also how they impact a greater web of people and events. Be considerate of others at this time and do your best to strive for collective harmony above individual gain. That's beautiful. And then, knowing me, I would kind of do an overall impression. I would look at the lines. Thank you. Thanks for joining me on this walk through the Star Seeker Tarot. And let me know if you have any questions, how it's been going for you, if you have it in your collection. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments below. Stay well, everybody. Namaste.